Well, the double murder that happened in this Lapel neighborhood shook the community, really affected the police and prosecutors who worked the case. And still, all these years later, it's not over.
I'm sure there's some worse crimes out there, but this is certainly among them.
Madison County Prosecutor Rodney Cummings was at the crime scene in 2004, saw firsthand the brutality with which Frederick Michael Baer killed a mother and her young daughter.
It's one that I really got angry. Fooled a lady to get her in the home. He tried to sexually assault her by cutting her clothes off. Her little girl ran in the room. She didn't want that to happen in front of her child, so he cut her throat and then chased the little girl through the house and cut her throat.
But did I kill anyone? No.
Baer, who first denied the murders, later said he deserved the death penalty. It's what he got after a mountain of evidence, including a phone call from jail, that convinced jurors his claim of mental illness was all an act.
Logansport, that's what I'm shooting for. The way I write my letters, the way I carry myself, I'm not a dummy. They know this. I got a college education. They know that I'm not stupid.
If you reserve the death penalty for the worst of the worst, I can't imagine this doesn't fall into that category.
But like many death penalty cases, this one has taken time and a turn. Baer's conviction and sentence were upheld multiple times in court, but last month a 3-judge panel overturned the death sentence, in part saying Baer's legal counsel wasn't effective. They want him to be sentenced all over again. Indiana's Attorney General is now asking the full 7th Circuit to get Baer back on track for execution.
There's such a feeling against the death penalty. I mean, it just seems that it's very difficult now for these cases to make it all the way through the appellate process, and that's just the nature of it, unfortunately.
In this case, adding years to the ultimate outcome, which the victim's family has to suffer through again.
It is not clear when the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals will consider the Attorney General's request. In the meantime, Baer remains in prison, and this case is now in its 14th year. In Lapel, Jenny Runovich, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
And you know, we hear a lot about death penalty cases, but Indiana hasn't executed someone on death row in nearly a decade. The last time was December of 2009. Since the death penalty was reinstated in 1997, the state has executed 20 people convicted of murder.